My name is Ivan Korolian. I'm a lecturer at University College London, a lecturer in building systems modeling. So my background is mechanical engineering with a specialism in air conditioning and the system efficiency. And my research interest at UCL is about energy efficiency of buildings, associated building services systems, everything from the scale of a single building and a single system up to the national stock level. So I've been involved in quite a few research projects with the main aim to support colleagues from the modeling and the simulation point of view. So I'm a bit familiar with these tools, in particular Design Builder as well, that we are going to show to you how to install today and how to use it on next Friday and Saturday. Argyris?
Yes, sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Argyris. I'm a researcher at UCL. I'm currently working on this GemDev project, where we are trying to model large-scale buildings here in Lima and also in India. My background is in civil engineering. Originally, I come from Greece. I've been in the UK for 20+ years. I'm really looking forward to meeting you all next Saturday in person. Thank you.
Yes. No, well, with us is not Rajan. Rajan will come to Lima on Tuesday. Or Wednesday. I have forgotten. But Rajan will be with us the two presential classes, no? And today, I repeat, the most important thing is that we have an introduction to the topic and also to install the software. No? Below, I will make a brief introduction to two topics that we considered important to mention before moving on to the topic of simulations. One of them is thermal comfort, and the other is the thermal performance of buildings. No? I will do this part in Spanish. Sorry, I am an Argyris, but to go faster, no? And now 5 or 10 minutes maybe, I suppose, no? And then we can enter to the topic of simulations. No? Please, a minute. I want to share screen here. Well, thermal comfort. Perdón, voy a hablar en castellano, voy a estar mucho más cómodo porque si no puedo terminar hablando cosas que después me arrepiento. Simplemente pido disculpas quizá a los profesores, profesionales, en fin, les comento rápidamente, hubieron casi unas 40 solicitudes para participar en el curso, habían 12, 15 espacios. Al final dijimos que, bueno, eran tantos los interesados que dijimos que pueden ser 23, 24, hasta 25. Así que, de alguna manera, hemos elegido, en principio, profesionales, ¿no? Vinculados al tema, con lo cual pido disculpas porque de repente esto es algo muy evidente para muchos de ustedes, pero no solo hay arquitectos, también ingenieros mecánicos, hay creo que un físico, ¿no? Entonces, yo creo que es bueno hacer como rápidamente una línea base de conocimientos muy, muy rápido, decir que el confort térmico es de alguna manera pues una sensación, ¿no? O sea, ante todo, pero que está vinculado a factores internos y externos a la persona. O sea, nosotros vamos a ir alrededor del software, este Design Builder, que lo que hace es simula y predice qué condiciones van a haber dentro de un edificio en función de lo que sucede afuera, de lo que sucede adentro, de cómo está constituido. Y el objetivo de estos programas informáticos realmente en lo que son los países desarrollados es principalmente el ahorro de energía, porque uno supone que las condiciones interiores son confortables, ¿no? Para el caso de nosotros, eso es válido, evidentemente, también, sobre todo en edificios de oficina que llevan equipos de aire acondicionado, calefacción, pero el énfasis que le vamos a dar, y esto también por cortesía hasta cierto punto de nuestros invitados, es dar un poco más de énfasis a lo que es el confort de las personas. O sea, asumiendo que en Perú la mayoría de personas, clase media, media baja, incluso clase alta, no usa sistemas de aire acondicionado o calefacción, lo que nos permite estos programas es predecir las condiciones interiores y saber más o menos si estas o permiten que las personas suelan tener confort térmico, ¿no? Entonces, va a ir alrededor del tema del confort. Simplemente decir eso, que es súper importante para saber si la persona está en confort térmico, de alguna manera, entender que hay unas variables ambientales que condicionan el confort térmico, que es la temperatura del aire, la temperatura de radiación. Entre ambas más o menos se deduce la temperatura operativa, ¿no? La humedad relativa del aire y la velocidad del aire, ¿no? Y también las últimas teorías de confort adaptativo hacen mucho énfasis en la temperatura interior frente al exterior, con lo cual, nuevamente, es importante entender que cuando hacemos, disculpen que vaya algo tan básico, pero cuando hacemos un edificio, una de las principales funciones del edificio es cobijarnos, ¿no? Darnos confort, entre otras cosas confort térmico, ¿no? Que es un poco el énfasis que vamos a hacer en este curso, y nuevamente entender que ese confort está absolutamente ligado a las condiciones ambientales a las que uno está expuesto. Y eso es lo que este software predice en términos, por lo menos, de temperatura operativa, ¿no? Eso es una cuestión, ¿no? Hablando de confort, como les digo, es súper rápido. Y la otra grande es, y acá me hablo un poco ya, no tanto de la persona que recibe estas condiciones de temperatura, sino qué pasa con el edificio en sí, ¿no? O sea, el edificio es una barrera entre una condición exterior, que puede ser, por ejemplo, ¿no? En un día soleado en Nazca, un exterior muy caliente y soleado, con alta temperatura, ¿no? Y con radiación, y tenemos un interior que seguramente se mantiene todavía un poquito más fresco porque en la noche se enfrió, ¿no? Un tema de masa térmica, qué sé yo. Entonces, este edificio, en principio, al interior, ¿no? Inevitablemente, casi seguro, va a terminar elevando su temperatura, ¿no? Y nuestro objetivo cuando diseñamos un edificio es justamente que esta persona mantenga un confort térmico. Y para lograr eso, tenemos que evitar que esta temperatura suba abruptamente. Entonces, nosotros tenemos que tener muy claro por qué subiría la temperatura, ¿no? Al interior. Y va a subir la temperatura por una infinidad de motivos, ¿no? Pero principalmente es por la radiación solar, ¿no? Que puede entrar, ingresar, sería una mala idea, pero puede suceder, muchas veces sucede, ¿no? Si entra a través de un material translúcido, hay unas ganancias que son ganancias solares o ganancias por radiación, que inmediatamente va a calentar la superficie y por convección va a comenzar a calentar el aire, ¿no? Y eso ya comienza a una persona que está a 26 grados al interior ser un pequeño problema, sobre todo depende de la hora, ¿no? La otra cuestión es que esta radiación también cae sobre las superficies opacas, ¿no? Y estas superficies, una parte de la radiación refleja, la otra se va a ir conduciendo lentamente y según el espesor del material, el tipo de material, ¿no? Va a terminar ingresando acá al edificio, ¿no? Entonces, esta es otra ganancia muchas veces muy significativa, quizás de las más altas que tenemos en la costa peruana, ¿no? Y esto termina también calentando el aire, además de emitiendo radiación que también influye en la temperatura operativa. O sea, esto también es un peligro, ¿no? Una tercera es que así está en sombra, ¿no? También el aire acá está más caliente que acá, entonces ahí hay unas ganancias por conducción. O sea, se conduce el calor a través del elemento opaco, también a través del elemento translúcido, ¿no? O sea, por más que no haya radiación, hay conducción a través, incluso es mayor generalmente porque el vidrio es más delgado y más conductor que un muro convencional, ¿no? Entonces, todo esto son ganancias, todo esto va a hacer que la temperatura suba, pero hay más, está el viento. Si nosotros con 34 grados afuera, 26 adentro, dejamos que entre el aire, o sea, ventilar aparentemente en estas condiciones no es lo más adecuado, una ventilación acá, o sea, acá habría que de repente cerrar la ventana, abrirla más temprano, abrirla más tarde cuando esto no sea 34, pero con esta condición lo mejor es cerrar, ¿no? Esto también es una ganancia de calor. Y por último, personas, equipos, también están de alguna manera emitiendo o aportando calor al espacio interior y subiendo su temperatura. Todo esto va a suceder, ¿no? Yo lo pongo como algo estático, pero es algo que es mucho más complejo. Calcular o hacer una idea de cuánto calor termina entrando en una foto estática, quizás no es tan complicado, se puede hacer a mano, pero hacer cálculos dinámicos es súper, súper engorroso y es eso lo que justamente nos permite estas herramientas, ¿no? Hacer esto de una manera mucho más, digamos, mucho más rápida porque hay quizá decenas o cientos de miles de cálculos para ver qué temperatura finalmente va a haber hora por hora en función no solamente de que la temperatura exterior también va cambiando, sino que el sol se va moviendo y además los materiales tienen también cierta capacidad de retener e ir soltando el calor con el tiempo, ¿no? Algo parecido se puede decir del frío, ¿no? En una noche fría, ¿no? Como de alguna manera se gana este calor, pero para ir rápidamente, esto es como un resumen, y ahí un poquito lo dejaría, ¿no? Las condiciones interiores, finalmente, que es la que nos interesan, y la que este software, Design Builder y otros predicen, estas temperaturas interiores van a depender, o sea, lo que suceda acá adentro finalmente va a depender, número uno, y no es que el orden sea lo más importante, ¿eh? Simplemente va a depender de estos 7 factores, más o menos. Habrán quizá algunos más, pero son un montón. Incluso hay etcéteras por acá, ¿no? Pero importantísimo para entender qué pasa adentro es saber qué pasa afuera. O sea, la temperatura exterior, la humedad relativa exterior, la radiación solar, los vientos principalmente, ¿no? Es lo que hay que saber qué sucede hora por hora afuera, ¿no? Y esto al software se le da esa información. Se le tiene que decir a través de un archivo de climático de todo el año, hora por hora, qué está sucediendo afuera en estos términos principalmente, ¿no? Luego, importante es la geometría exterior, si hay obstrucciones, cerros, árboles, edificios contiguos, ¿no? Elementos que puedan estar dando sombra o que puedan de alguna manera obstruir el paso del viento, ¿no? Todo eso también es algo que se le tiene que dar de información al software y tenemos que saberlo nosotros. Yo hablo del software, pero en general, o sea, es algo que siempre existe, pero el software nos lo va a pedir, ¿no? Tercera cosa importante, la geometría del edificio. O sea, la forma del edificio, sus dimensiones, si está más o menos asentado, su orientación. Es súper importante saber qué caras y cuántas caras y qué área tiene expuesta al exterior, porque por ahí van a haber los intercambios, principalmente por conducción y radiación, ¿no? La orientación es importante, esta relación opaco versus transparente, la organización interior y un largo etcétera, ¿no? O sea, los colores, en fin, la geometría es súper, súper importante, ¿no? Otra cosa importantísima que se hace mucho énfasis es justo el envolvente, o sea, qué cosa separa el interior del exterior. Claro, es una forma lo que separa, pero esa forma de qué está compuesta, o sea, los materiales, ¿no? Tanto interiores como exteriores, ¿no? Los interiores influyen mucho en función de la masa, casi exclusivamente, pero los exteriores es súper importante qué tipo de material es, qué conductividad térmica tiene, su espesor, su densidad, el calor específico, el grado de transparencia, el color, todo esto tenemos que dar información y tenemos que conocerla también. Como les digo, los arquitectos en general cuando diseñamos tenemos que tomar todas estas decisiones y sabemos que tienen impactos en el confort interior, deberíamos ser bastante conscientes de cómo influye aproximadamente, pero lo que va a hacer el software es justamente predecirlo de una manera mucho más precisa, ¿no? Bueno, hay muchísimo que decir acá, me estoy salteando un poco ideas, todo, pero nuevamente vamos a seguramente a regresar a esto de una u otra manera, ¿no? Otra cosa importantísima es la actividad, el uso. O sea, cuántas personas van a ver adentro, qué están haciendo, ¿no? No es lo mismo dos personas durmiendo que 10 personas haciendo ejercicios, ¿no? A qué horas están, a qué horas no, cuando está vacío el edificio, cuando está con personas, si están prendidos los equipos, las luminarias, en fin, si hay control de temperatura, de humedad, si las personas pueden prender o apagar sistemas de calefacción o aire acondicionado, todo eso también hay que insertar dentro del software, ¿no? Y luego los sistemas de calefacción, evidentemente aire acondicionado y ventilación mecánica, o sea, si los hay, qué modelos son, cuánto consumen, su eficiencia, todo esto también hay que darle información al software. Y por último, y nuevamente seguramente me dejo cosas, está vinculado a los materiales del edificio, ¿no? Pero dentro de los materiales transparentes, sobre todo, lo que son ventanas principalmente, también sus dimensiones, sus orientaciones, la forma, el área que tiene, el material, el tipo de ventanas, si tiene o no protección solar, si permite o no la infiltración del viento, y la operatividad también, si es que el usuario puede o no abrir según condiciones que nosotros mismos supongamos, ¿no? Entonces, si se dan cuenta, nuevamente, todo esto, querramos o no, los arquitectos decidimos sobre esto. O sea, nosotros cuando diseñamos estamos tomando decisiones por todo esto. Y muchas veces nos llevamos, y ese es un poco el sentido, ¿no? la bioclimática, nos llevamos por el sentido común y por cierta lógica y generalmente tomamos decisiones cuando lo hacemos, ¿no? Digamos, con conciencia, tomamos decisiones bastante acertadas, ¿no? Pero lo bonito del software nuevamente es que nosotros podemos ponerlos digamos, a prueba, ¿no? Y eso implica, de repente, aumentar un parasol o ensanchar una pared e ir probando con el software a ver si la cosa puede afinarse y hacerse mejor aún, ¿no? Todo esto nuevamente puede ser o para dar confort en caso que no tengamos sistema de calefacción, o si tenemos sistema de calefacción para mantener un confort con el mínimo gasto energético, ¿no? Que implica también considerar todos los aspectos. Bueno, eso es lo que hace el software, eso es lo que nos va a pedir y puede resultar un poco difícil porque uno dice, yo no voy a estar dándole todo esto, ¿no? Teóricamente hay ya materiales con todos estos elementos, generalmente nosotros simplemente tenemos que poner el clima, tenemos que dibujar la geometría que la podemos también exportar de Revit, acá hay bases de datos ya con materiales, aunque para el Perú hay que hacerlas muchas veces, ¿no? Y esto también hay un montón de, digamos, de plantillas ya con usos típicos de oficina, con usos típicos, ¿no? En fin, hay también equipos ya con marcas que podemos poner, o sea, es por un lado complejo, pero por otro lado también, como cualquier software, es, ¿cómo decirlo?, es práctica, ¿no? Y lo que vamos a ver hoy, lo que vamos a hacer sobre todo la próxima semana, voy adelantando, es un vistazo al software y la posibilidad de interactuar con nuestros invitados, con Ryan, con el arquitecto, ¿no? Ryan, que para sacarnos algunas dudas y tener muy claro qué nos permite hacer el software, qué no, y una breve práctica. Pero la práctica real la va a tener cada uno de ustedes, yo mismo, justamente intentando y de alguna manera yendo detrás de estos temas, ¿no? Bueno, es eso principalmente. Yo dejo de compartir ahora. Ay, perdón. Pausa, dejar de compartir. Sorry, Ivan, Algerius, maybe I have talked a lot. Please, you are now in time.
So, do you want to say a few words about the IBPSA?
I was thinking if we do the download,
Yes.
we can say the
Yeah.
IBPSA thing between the download. So
Yeah.
one of the things that we have to do, everyone, is to download the file, the installation file, and I'm gonna copy the link to the chat. And if you can click the link, it will ask you to register. And maybe I can share the screen and we can go through this together. We've already done this with Ivan here, but we could do it again. So if I just share screen, share this bit. Can everybody see the screen in front of us? Yes.
Yes.
I can see I'm nodding. Great. So if you were to click download here, one important thing to say that if anybody's running on Mac right now, you would probably not be able to use Design Builder. So for this course, you would have to be able to get your hands on a Windows computer if possible. Otherwise, we can work in pairs next Saturday, or if you can borrow one, or if you have access to a Windows computer, that'd be very helpful. So if you were to click here on download, mine started immediately, but it would take you to a login register page. I am already in here. So if I log out, and then if you were to log in, register and create an account, and you can fill in your details, register, it will send an activation email to your email account, the one you registered with. And then if you click the link and go back to the Design Builder webpage, you'll then be able to proceed with a download. And if you have reached the download download stage, please possibly maybe raise a hand, or if you've got any problems, raise a hand. And once you've initiated download, I'm not sure of your speed. Ours here took roughly about 7 minutes. And during the download phase, we can briefly talk about IBPSA. We'll pause ours because we already have it.
Yeah. So it's important that you start downloading the installation package for Design Builder. So register, start downloading. It might take time depending on your internet connection, and then while it is being downloaded to your computer, we can discuss and say a few words about this IBPSA organization for the building performance simulation.
Is everybody able to go through the registration and click download? Is anybody experiencing any problems here?
So we have one hand raised, Gianfranco.
Gianfranco.
That is possible that you already downloaded, or you have a
Yes.
problem.
Yeah, I'm downloading the program. I just
Perfect.
want to, well, thanks for the
Perfect.
class that we're going today. I just want to know, do we also need to download Revit, or
No,
it's not
no,
necessary? Oh,
no.
okay.
It's just
Thanks.
it's a standalone software for building performance simulation.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Good. Thumbs up. Anybody else thumbs up? If you give us a thumbs up as soon as you click the download, then we could proceed with IBPSA. Augusto, we can see you. Thank you. Carol, Vanessa, thank you.
Gonzalo, thanks.
Federico, Gonzalo. If you're running into any problems, feel free to unmute yourself. Sebastian, thank you. Renato.
Celine, thanks. Richard, Claudio. So I would say more than 50% start downloading. So maybe in a couple of minutes we can say we can start about
Is everyone on the 7 minutes download time frame? We are on the hotel speed here, so I'm not sure.
No.
Maybe we do all this
Yes,
part all
yeah,
together.
yeah. We were thinking first just download the file, and then after that we'll share the screen and go to the installation process on our computer as well.
Maybe we'll wait for everyone to download so we can take a
Yes.
step at a time.
And then idea for today is to download, install, and run one example file to get the results on your computer and to be sure that you're ready for the next Saturday. Because from time to time there are some issues. We are doing this year by year with students at university, and it happens almost every year that something is not compatible with the computer, or it installs in some other folder where it should not be installed, administrator rights and so on. So we would like to try to decode all these potential issues today. Hopefully there will be none, but we never know.
Maybe a quick question. Is anyone running on a Mac today? Maybe not, which is good. Quickly. Yeah.
So this is a good question. So there are a lot of different tools to run building performance simulations. We decided to use Design Builder because that is effectively a front end for Energy Plus building performance simulation tool. And Energy Plus is a free open source, but it does not have interface. So it is a very difficult to set up and prepare all input parameters to be ready to execute simulation. Design Builder is a nice and powerful interface for that tool, which is again one of the best simulation tools available at present. So Design Builder hides all complexity which is required for running a simulation in underlying simulation engine. But there are also other commercial tools which does these type of simulations, not much, and also there are specialized tools for parts of the simulation in a building as well. So for example, if you're interested solely in a daylight analysis, you might want to do something with the radiance-based tools, or if you're interested in computational fluid dynamics to see flow in or around the building, so you would choose some other specialized tools, or about the sound and so on. The Design Builder has integrated some of these elements and can give us a brief idea of how buildings perform from a thermally point of view, from a thermal comfort point of view, from ventilation requirements point of view, and so on. Is it friendly to users? We believe it is, especially if users are skilled with CAD type of tools, and we assume all of you are very skilled with CAD type of tools, so it is familiar. It requires some pre-knowledge on, in general, energy in buildings or materials, type of construction elements, and so on. But we will go through all these aspects on next Friday and Saturday. Luckily enough, this tool, Design Builder, it has a very large database and repository of a lot of materials, material constructions, some typical, let's say, occupancy patterns for the different type of the buildings. So how many people per square meter, how much light per square meter. Unfortunately, a lot of these are based on like UK and American standards and occupancy patterns. So you might need to adjust from project to project to the local context.
But this is also one of the reasons we're doing the gender project.
Yes.
Is to bring all these tools to places that they have not been used widely until now. So we're very interested in your input next week as well, like Friday and Saturday. And we're very interested also in forming this IBPSA chapter that we'll just briefly mention. Rajan, who will be delivering the sessions next week, is super experienced in IBPSA. He's been involved in the formation of IBPSA chapters for many years, and he can go through the details then.
Shall we go now to IBPSA? I assume everyone started.
Just maybe a quick question. Has anyone experienced any critical problems until now?
With downloading
With
the tool.
downloading initially, yes.
No messages.
No messages, no thumbs down. So we can maybe we can change our. Oh, this is okay. We're still sharing, so probably we just pop in the. So you can. I'm also gonna copy this to the chat. Thanks, Martin. Yeah. So this is the International Building Performance Simulation Association. They have quite a few chapters worldwide. The association is formed of practitioners and academics around the world. It's an excellent platform for knowledge sharing. They organize some of the most respected and highly rated conferences in our field in building performance simulation. The last one was in Rome, in Europe, a few years ago. The next one is in Shanghai in 2023, in a year from now. There are also local chapters that they organize their own conferences and their own events, their own seminars. The IBPSA is delivering loads of workshops and seminars. There's a lot of material online, and especially in YouTube. Maybe we can look at their YouTube site as well. There's a lot of talks, previous talks that they upload monthly. One of the really interesting thing, at least for us from the academia side, is that this website holds all of the proceedings from previous conferences. There is a lot of material, there's a lot of research papers here. You can see it's probably not the most modern website, but it's highly practical. And on the left-hand side, you can see the committees and the board of directors. I've been sitting in the conference committee the past 2 years, and it's been super interesting. You can look at the people, you can look what they do, you can make also connections through there. You can see the past international conferences. There's a number of IBPSA research projects. They're heavily involved in education. And if you can take also your own time to scan the website throughout this week.
From this one, what I would like highlight is online papers from all these conferences in the past, and it has some search capabilities, so you can find, for example, on the different topics, you can go and read papers. Another aspect of this IBPSA, because it is the organization mainly about building performance simulations. No matter which aspect of building performance you're interested in, you would be able to find some information. More importantly, because our discipline is not as big as, for example, architecture, or as big as some medical disciplines. So it is important for us to meet the people globally and to discuss these topics which affects everyday's life of people using and living in buildings. So another aspect of this organization, because it is a global, but locally, there might be some niche problems that local communities are facing and which are not that obvious at the global level. So that is the reason why there are so many local chapters of these organizations which are organized and run by local professionals. So for example, you can see here affiliates, and there will be some countries, neighboring countries to Peru. For example, there is a chapter in Argentina, there is a chapter in Chile, there is a chapter in Brazil. So you can go to these web pages as well and see who are these professionals who set up these chapters. Idea behind here, and what we would like maybe to see some of you taking a leadership and setting up the regional IBPSA affiliate in Peru, which would connect people within the Peru who are interested in building performance simulation subjects and tasks. These regional chapters and regional affiliates, some of them are more active, some of them are less active. The more active one, even organizing local conferences every couple, let's say, biannually. For example, in IBPSA England, every 2 years we run building simulation and optimization conference, which is a local, mainly people from that affiliate, and some from abroad come to discuss and to present their work. So idea behind this is to make our discipline more visible and more influential in designing and operating buildings in the future, because we are all facing globally with the problems about energy, about CO2 emission, about global warming, all these big words, but we also want to search for the solutions. And organizing such affiliations and getting group together, discussing, might lead to certain initiatives and might be heard by, for example, governments, influence policymakers, which can be translated in improving conditions for people and generally like improving energy efficiency. So that is the idea what we want to present and see whether that might be of interest for some of you thinking about this. And Rajan on Friday, I think he will mention a few more like bureaucratic stuff, how to set up, what you have to think about and so on. Because generally this is a charity organization, so it's not run for any profit or something like that.
Yeah, and it's worth saying, as Ivan mentioned, some local chapters are more active, some are less active. it's really up to the local people to decide how much workload they want to put into this. We encourage the formation of the IBPSA Peru chapter quite a lot. We want to learn from you, and we want to share our knowledge and get your shared knowledge as well. The past few years after the pandemic, I'm sure you're aware of it, through Zoom and online meeting has been a lot more easier to attend these conferences, and the local chapters have been easier to communicate their findings. So yes, Rajan will be going through the structural proceedings in forming a chapter. But please take over some time this week and think about whether you'd be interested in putting yourself forward to be one of the founding members of the IBPSA chapter in Peru. And with that, the question I guess following is, has your download been completed? And we can proceed with the installation. Or maybe the question to ask is anyone's download taking a lot longer than this 5-10 minutes? Is anyone struggling with the download? No. Maybe thumbs up for those of whose files have been already downloaded.
So shall we maybe start the installation procedure on the
Yeah.
on our
Yeah. Yeah. Download is complete. So okay, great. Make that small again. So somewhere in your computer, you should be able to locate the design builder file. It's that 7.02004. And depending where.
There's a question in the chat.
Yes. Oh, ready. Starting
Okay.
installation.
Yeah.
Perfect. It depends on computer. You might be required to run it as the admin. I think my computer, I'm the admin, so it should run. Going to install. Click next in this first wizard. Agree to the license agreement. Click next.
I
Choose
would keep the default.
Keep the
path.
default, if possible. Click next.
Are
And
you sharing the screen maybe? Because I see only the IBPSA webpage.
All right, let's
go back.
Let's go back and reshare the screen because
No, if
I'm probably
it's
sharing the
necessary,
window and I'm
maybe.
sure. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
What about now? Can you see the setup wizard?
Yes. Now, yes.
Yes. Okay. So click next to the first window, accept, click here, tick, and click next. It's highly recommended you leave the directory as it is recommended from the software, and click next and go ahead with install.
It might ask you to confirm admin rights.
As it does.
As it does for us. Yes.
Click yes and
then,
allow it.
Yeah. Depending on the speed of your computer, it might take faster or slower.
Almost there here. Let's have a look at that. Save it. Run it. Give me pain to guess.
It hasn't been downloaded yet.
All right. See one problem. It says installation directory must be on a local hard drive. Interesting. Is that
Strange,
is
no?
that
Because the letter C is local drive generally. No?
next problem?
So it's this one that
Yeah. That was Augusto.
Yes, I'm sorry to
Augusto,
be the
is
first
your-
problem.
No problem. This is why we're here.
what happens when you click change?
I already tried to put it on C directory directly, but it doesn't work either.
How many
Just one.
directories have you got in your computer? Just one.
Just one.
And
I'll try moving the installation file.
Yeah, the other thing we can do is as we progress through that, we can always stay a little bit later and you can
Yes.
share your screen and we can go through that.
that's a good idea. Okay, so let's see how your installation progressed. Completed, finished.
Here we are finished.
So
I'm not sure if it's gonna run or not yet. Let's put anything here. Design builder. Yeah. Installation complete, great. You should either be getting one of these shortcuts on your desktop, or you can always find it on your startup.
design builder.
Design builder new and click on that image here.
So now in initial settings, it is important to select the proper the calculation engine. I think we will be asked, although that can be changed later as well.
Okay, so have you had any luck?
No, I'll try to restart the computer.
Okay,
So I'll be going
we'll
for a
see you in a
bit.
bit.
Yes.
We believe you will be getting some license, like 90 days license later this week. So because this one is just for the trial purposes. So once you are asked this, which simulation engine to choose, please choose Energy Plus Simulation. The other one is just for the UK and Ireland calculation of energy performance certificates. So it's extremely simplified calculation method. Energy Plus is a full dynamic thermal simulation calculation engine. So please select that one and click OK.
There's a question, do you want to use IP units?
We got used to SI units, so I would recommend to choose SI units. Shall we proceed with this one? It is, because this is a trial version and it works for 30 days. For the training, I think you will be getting 90 days. Being Chile, if I remember correctly. Contact the headquarters in the UK if you do not want to speak with the local seller. So this is the opening, like a landing page in the design builder, and there are some examples here. What we would like you to do now, just to be sure that everything works, is to open some example And I would probably choose some of these smaller ones. So house example one, for example. Can you open it, Targeris? So,
Maybe you have received an email from with a temporary license.
have you received that? So just to check. Did you have a design builder on your computer
No, I
before?
haven't had it before. This is a fairly new computer. Not yet.
Let me just check.
Evaluate.
Sorry?
If we click evaluate, it will do the
Yeah, fill email and name. And choose the country. So yes, we had to fill this information to receive the activation code on email. So we copied the code. Code is unique, so you won't be able to use this one. And then go to the activation codes and go click to the license. Activation code. Next.
Yeah.
Next.
next.
Paste the code you received. Click next. And now it's going to activate the different modules within the design builder, because when purchasing the tool, you can choose only a few modules. You don't need to buy everything to be able to use the tool. So for example, if you're not interested in CFD simulation, you don't need to purchase it. At least I think that's how they structure their code. So for the 30 days, all modules are going to be activated. Then click finish. Yeah, and close that one. And now we will be able to open. So maybe let's wait a few more minutes to see whether you followed all this process. If there is any question.
Finish the
Participants.
back somewheres.
It's over here.
Sorry, Ivan, I take the opportunity of this time. What's the main difference between a version, this one, for example, version 7, in comparison with version 4 or 5? Because at PUC we have 6 or 8 licenses from professors and also from students, but it's an old version, no? Maybe it has. Mhm.
So to extent of my knowledge, the major difference is the version of Energy Plus, which is used for calculation procedure. And Energy Plus is the tool which is released twice per year. And it always has some improvements or more complex models and so on. Another aspect is that in a newer version, you have some other, let's say, tools such as optimization, parametric analysis, sensitivity analysis, which hasn't been in the previous version, CFD maybe, and some improvements, for example, switching from ANSYS to OpenFOAM and so on. So there are these level of improvements, plus minor bug fixes and so on. But major difference is calculation engine and accessibility of advanced simulation techniques and tools such as parametric sensitivity analysis, optimization, cloud computing, and so on. And I think with newer versions, they also improved a bit of visualization of results.
Mm-hmm. But for simple simulations, maybe
for a
4
simple,
to 4 version.
My experience is that there will always be some minor differences if you, for example, step 2-3 versions of Energy Plus. But those differences would be on, for example, fraction of a centigrade, which is literally, there are so many other assumptions in the building simulation world that that level of accuracy, I probably wouldn't be worried that much. So for a simple buildings, older versions are fine enough. There was a question that one version of Design Builder that does not have house example 1. We can maybe open some other example. That this is really not the. We are not going to use CFD at this stage. Yeah. So we are just focusing on Energy Plus simulations. So idea behind running any of these examples is to check that simulation runs on your computer locally, and that some results will be computed. We are not going to go into how to use this tool today. Just the idea is, let's run something and see what we are going to, and see that we are getting outputs. We are not discussing inputs, we are not discussing outputs, we are not discussing simulation techniques, physics behind, and so on. So idea is just to test that tool works. Okay, and on next Saturday, we will go through these options, what to choose, where to choose, weather file, and so on and so on. So I would just click here, okay. We have one question, license 1 month since now. Yes, that's what we want. So it does some conversion. So probably the example has been developed in some previous version of the tool. So it has to convert a model first. It takes some time, but it should work.
And for those that don't have the house one example, we can create any other request to start with, just to make sure that something is running.
So you can see the house one is, this is a typical British semi-detached house. It has a kitchen and the living room at the ground floor and the toilet and 2 or 3 bedrooms at the top floor, and it has a loft on top. So on the left-hand side, thermal zone and stuff like that, you will hear about this on next Friday and Saturday. We just now want to execute a simulation that can be, for example, clicking down simulation button, which is going to call for the simulation for the whole year. So is it working? So on your computer might be fast.
I think it ran quick faster.
Yeah, so here it's going to ask us for which period we want to run simulation between certain days. You can take the whole year and how results you want to output. It is important for us. It's not important what we select, so we just want to see whether this is going to be executed. Okay, we are missing Energy Plus. It's going to take and download it from a web page. So that's happening. That happens only first time when you launch the simulation engine. So it's going to download for your particular version of Windows. Something happened to. Okay, so it says simulating building.
Change the resolution.
Yes, it changed the resolution. That might be some clash with the Zoom.
How is everybody doing? Have you managed to get to the stage? Any issues?
So you can see in this like reduced screen that something is happening there. At least this green field. Okay, so now make it bigger. There are 4 graphs. Excellent. Yeah, so that means it worked. It's simulated. Something, results are generated, and that's everything we wanted you to do today. To have a tool which is fully working on your computer, so that we go straight into example modeling exercises on next Saturday. So now we will. I don't know, Martin, do you want to share something else, or you want to discuss something else with the participants?
No, the main goal today is that we can be sure that everyone can install the software. Maybe we can stay with people who cannot install or had troubles, but I want only to say that there is 2 things. No, the first one is that I think that the interface, the graphic interface, is very, very similar in previous versions. I think
yes,
if you,
yes,
no, it's very similar because I use it from 8 years ago, and it's the same.
It's the same. Yes.
Yes, and it's very useful. Can I share the screen, please?
So we'll stop sharing.
Yes, but for a while, it's only a moment. Here, if you go to YouTube and put Design Builder, no, and search, there is the official page of Design Builder, this one, yes. No, and there are very it's from 9 years ago, but here is a very useful introduction, no, and very simple exercises that from 10-20 minutes that it will be very useful if the participants maybe has time through the week, no, to make this, no, maybe not so complicated the calculations, but this one it will be very useful, no. And the other thing is that, no, that in Católica we have licenses, but yes, it's from version, I think, 4.5. It's very old, no? and we are seeing to buy a new version, no, this year, but it's not sure, no. Now it's that, no, and maybe we can stay with participants who have problems.
I know it is Saturday, so anyone who generated these 4 graphs can leave, and I am looking forward to seeing you and meeting you in person on next Friday. And
yes.
everyone who has some problem with installation should remain, and then we can try to solve that problem together. So nice meeting you, nice speaking with you, and hopefully I'll see you all in about a week time.
Yes. We stay here maybe 1 hour or more if there are problems, no, but yes, people who
hasn't generated these charts should, whoever wants to start first, can start now.
Bueno, para hacer for officially close this session, no?
We can stop recording. There is no need for recording anymore.
Bueno, gracias por estar acá. Esto era así una introducción muy breve.